A very warm welcome and good morning to all of you pool fans watching around the world. We are back live here at the Mediterranean coast in the beautiful Miracle Resort Hotel in Turkiye. As you can see, it's the Predator EPBF European Pool Championships. Today's match that we will be following is the last 64 race to 8 match between Emil Andrej Gangflot from Norway and Wojciech Szewczak from Poland, who's won the leg. We're playing the game of 8 ball. Single elimination, as you can see. And we got a chance to see Emil Andrej yesterday on our stream tables, where he played that team match, Bosnia versus Norway, and he had a very solid performance against Sanjin Pelivanovic. Went on to win that match quite convincingly. However, the man at the table right now in the most recent European Pool Championship back in 2025 in April reached the finals, and Emil, well, he got eliminated in the last 32, so both players are very keen to go a bit further this time around. Wojciech with a successful break, potted a couple of balls. When you look at the layout, you wonder if he's going for the stripes or will he take the solids, because that 8 ball is slightly occupied. Now, if the 8 ball was more in the open, you would feel like the stripes are a lot easier to dissolve. But this might be a case where he feels like actually the solids is a better choice right now, and he's called the 6. He's playing this combination right away. It's always tough when the ball you're aiming at is running away from the combination line. Still early days, of course. Wojciech was, well, it is in the past, so we do not want to make more out of it. He was involved in a slightly heated match where players refused to give each other a handshake, but that's in the past. Right now, Emil Andrej looking to continue that rich vein of form that he showed against Sanjin Pelivanovic. I have to say, when you look at his all-around game, his setup, his mechanics, he really looks like a player that does not miss a lot or makes any kind of silly mistakes. That's always a good sign. I think he can pot this 3. Stun the cue ball slightly across to the right side, just, well, let's say half a foot. For the 4 into the left bottom corner pocket. And then use the 1 as the last ball to play position in the 8. I think he's just used his timeout. Trying to be absolutely certain about the game plan here. I'll be trying to figure out what his ancestors' roots are, because he doesn't strike me as a typical Norwegian. Could have done with a touch more side spin. He's left his 8 ball a little bit thinner than he would have preferred. Still expect him to make it though. Doesn't need to hit this hard, of course. Well, well, well. Well, I did say he did not leave himself comfortable on the 8. Slightly surprised, however. And what a reprieve for Wojciech. I'm sure when Emil was trying to solve the last 3 solids, he did not expect to get back to the table. Yet here he is. Spoiled for choice, really. The table is nicely open, so all he needs to do is play his cue ball into areas where he leaves himself multiple options, just like that. Can take the 10, can take the 9. Just needs to make sure he leaves himself enough angle, just like that. Yeah, so early on, a bit of disappointment for Emil. He had a great opportunity to run, and it looked for all the world that he's about to run the table. Failed to pot the 8 ball. Subsequently, the first rack goes to Wojciech. Manages to keep his break, even though he needed a mistake by Emil. Nevertheless, goes up 1-0. Emil with his first break. Nice powerful break. Good controlled cue ball. Not so sure whether that 12 does even pass the 6, so based on that, you'd think he'll go for the solids here. Yeah, it does not go. So I would presume taking on the solids here is the right way forward if he is in fact setting his sights on trying to clear the table from this visit. Got slightly a bit fortunate to be able to see this 5 ball. It just gives him the opportunity to get rid of the 5 right here, right now, because as you can see, it was quite occupied. Yeah, nicely played. He used that 14 green stripe just to get the pace out of the cue ball, and he's landed absolutely perfect on the 1 here. We'll take away the 2 and the 7 before he goes up towards the 3. And it's always a good thing if you have the skill, the breaking, the pace to put little mistakes like the previous rack to the back of your mind. It just makes, you know, overcoming obstacles so much easier. Left himself a nice angle here on the 3. Needs to decide whether he wants to come inside the gap of the 8 and the 14 or outside of the gap. Yeah, the line is inside. And this time he will not miss this 8 ball, I'm sure. So a good reply and a timely reply, just to put that little disappointment to the back of his head. All square. Check with a powerful break. Lost his cue ball. This is a good chance here for Emil to punish him for that mistake. As you can see, the table is nicely spread. Just handing over the cue ball to the referee just to give it a rub with their gloves. Out of all disciplines, I really feel like in 8 ball, the break is very, very important. And it's sheer because of the reason that when you break in 8 ball and you don't make a ball, you leave your opponent with multiple options. Now at 9 or 10 ball, obviously you need to take on the 1, let's say if the 1 is on the table. Now if you cannot see the pot on the lowest numbered ball, then all of a sudden all you can do is either play safe or play a push out. On an 8 ball, you rarely ever see that. First glance, nothing seems to be blocked. As I think all the remaining solids do have a designated pocket available to them. Needs to play good positional shots though. A lot of striped balls in the vicinity of the solids. That's gone wrong, I believe. He'll have to jump this 7 if he wants to continue the run. He'll have to play this with somewhat of a stun screw if he can manage to get that on the cue ball. Potentially, if he manages to pot the 7, leave himself on the 5 into the same corner pocket. This is not easy by any means. That is absolutely perfect. What a great shot he's just executed there. And the control in the jump. Magnificent. Truly magnificent. This 8 ball to take the lead for the first time. Emil with a successful break once again. He's looking at the solids. Yeah, likely to use the 6 as the last ball to play position on the 8. As you can see, he's got a couple of balls near the pocket. And as long as he can leave himself a straight in shot on the 6, the position on the 8 becomes very easy indeed. So nice thinking. Took out the 7. Now he's going up table. Should be able to control the cue ball, leave himself comfortable angles on these last 2 balls, and then play a good positional shot on the 6. And it would be a pretty fast break and run. That's a slight mishap. Try to go around it. Probably play this with top right, just to send the cue ball a bit more towards the right side of the table. It's one of those that you do not actually need to hit that hard at all. Just let the side spin take over. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. One might argue if you was going to leave yourself off straight, it's better to do it in this way, where you can send your cue ball towards the side instead of your cue ball heading in the direction of the 8 ball. Well, perfectly executed, has to be said. And this 8 for a 3-1 lead. Solid stuff by the man from Norway. A successful break for Wojciech, but as you can clearly see, this is a rather less straightforward layout than his opponent had in the previous rack. It's called a bank shot here on the 9 into the corner pocket that he's now bridging over. I'm wondering if he is trying to... No, he's not digging down on the cue ball, so just focusing on the bank shot here. Safely in, and good news is he can get rid of the 15 if he wishes to do so. You could even try and putt the 10 off the side rail, nudge into the 1. That is also an option. Yeah, well, shot clock is running down. It's called this extension. I don't think it's that bad of a shot. Well, he's taking the 13 first. He's got a different plan in his mind. He just stun screw the cue ball back in the middle. Nicely executed. He's trying to work his way towards the last ball to play position on the 8, so it's clear to see that his plan was to leave the green stripe 14 ball as the last play position, although he's left himself a little off straight here on the 11. I'll have to play a delicate shot here. He's trying to basically kill the pace in the cue ball on this shot. Yeah, that's nicely done. You should be able to avoid running into the 4 on and off the rail. No. No, he's hit the 4. He's hit the 4 and he's snookered himself. He'll have to play a bank shot now. And this bank shot is a bit more trickier than the first bank shot he took on in this rack. No. Yeah. I'm sure, just like myself, he was a bit surprised that that cue ball hit the 4. It really looked like he could avoid running into it. So that was a mistake. And considering the scoreline and the way his opponent has been playing, that could be a very costly mistake. He's already 3-1 up. And it'd be a brave man to bet against him, not to make it 4-1. And it's Emil, his break after this. We saw what he did in his previous break. Emil is looking to leave the 3 ball into the side to play position on the 8. Seems like a sensible plan. I would prefer a quarter ball angle on the 3. It just makes the positional side of the shot very easy. Might have to run this off 2 rails forward, or is he drawing it back? Oh, just off the side. Well, he's managed to get that quarter ball angle as I was referring to. Yeah, what a costly error that was by Wojciech. And you can see at this level, any mistake is likely to be punished. This routine 8 ball to go 4-1 in front. Emil with another successful break. Trying to work his way out how to approach the table. He's looking at the solids here. Yeah. 3 and the 7 ball. Sitting down at the table. That gives him good opportunity to play a easy positional shot on the 8. Yeah, I was about to say I was just a bit late. It was a good opportunity to just draw the cue ball back. And he's left himself a nice angle here on the 4, so he can play his cue ball into an area, send the cue ball towards the middle diamond on the right side of the table. He would leave himself options, the 3 and the 7. You can see it was tracking towards the middle diamond. I have to say it could have done with a foot longer. I don't really fancy that 7 now. I feel the 3 is a lot, yeah. There's a little less risk involved in this shot. All about the pace. And this time the pot on the 7 looks a lot more easier. Of course, the 8 does not go into the same corner pocket. So I have to pick out a spot on the table for his cue ball. He could elect to play position on the 8 into the middle pocket, left middle pocket, or go around it off 2 rails for the 8 ball into the bottom right corner pocket. He's got an angle to do that. Got enough side spin to cross the 8 ball, and he's played once again a perfect positional shot. This 8 to go 5-1 up. A very strong start by Emil André Gangflot. It's looking very solid indeed. And as for Wojciech, well, you'll have to start producing big breaks. And, well, definitely reach the point that he cannot afford to make any other mistakes. As you can see on our other featured stream table, on table number 2, household name Yasmin Ushan, arguably the best female pool player we've had, up against Linnea Hellström from Sweden. You can follow that match on our YouTube channel, table number 2. That is provided with commentary by my colleague Tim de Ruiter. Yeah, that 8 ball is one of the obvious problems, as well as that cluster at the bottom side of the table. I'm just wondering, does that 7 ball pot? But even if it does, that 4 can be potted into the same corner pocket as the 11, but it's not a 100% guarantee. So one thing is for certain, this is not going to be an easy break and run by any means. Let's call the extension. Now, there is even another cheeky shot available, although I don't feel there's real value in it. He can thin clip the 7, call the 11. No, he's going for the 13 ball here. Or is he? Yeah, he is. Nicely played positional shot there. He can pot this 9 ball, and when he does, it opens up the 15, although it's a very tight margin for error. Needs to land low on the 15. That seems a bit pacey to me. I'm not so sure whether he can see enough of the 14 to pot it into the side. If he can't, he'll probably play the 11 ball. So it's a 3 ball combination. 14 onto the 10. And try to make contact with the 11. Yeah, that was a very good shot. His plate position on the 15. Now the nudge on the 1 ball seems inevitable. So it's all about the cue ball here, really. Nicely done. Just managed to avoid the 3 and the 1. Be interesting to see whether he will try and develop the 8 ball here. Got a lot of angle for that, so I'm not so sure if that is available to him. Might be. Now then, I tell you what, it's not a 100% guaranteed a shot on the 10, but all things considered, he's done really, really well. If he can pot this 10 and not hook himself on the 8, he's managed to produce a very challenging break and run. On what has to be the most crucial part of the match. Yeah, well played. Fair play to him. This is an amazing run out. It really is. Had to play all sorts of creative positional shots, a lot of tough putts. And with this 8 ball, closes the deficit. It's now 2-5. What a magnificent break and run. Little stamp with the butt of a cue by Emil. He realized how good that was. That was a special run out. Nevertheless, he's still in the driving seat though. 5-2 up. Up to break next. And for the first time in the match, it is a dry break by Emil. Just what Wojciech was hoping for. I would have thought the solids are looking way more inviting than the stripes. He's likely trying to work out how to get onto that 7 ball. The rest are sitting pretty nicely. He might be able to play a two-way shot here. If he can just send his cue ball forward and go around the back of the 2, he might land on that awkward 7 ball. Yeah, there you go. That cue ball's going into the line of the 7. That's a well thought out shot. See, you'd always have the 2 and the 4. But I do believe now is the right moment to try and resolve that 7 ball. Yeah, it's not perfect. I mean, sure, you can pot the 4 into the side, but that cue ball is now heavily limited with the cue ball on the side rail, and it will run into the 13 most likely. So how will he leave himself a shot after this? And with that 9 ball now being so close to the cue ball, taking on the pot on the 2 is also very limited. He might be okay, you know. If he can see the 2 into the side, that's not worked out bad at all. Well, he is looking at it, so I can only assume he can get to the putting angle. I'll have to send his cue ball around the back of the 1-11. Oh no, that's the 13 and a 12 of 3 rails. Oh no, he's tried to hold it. What a great shot he's just played there. I thought it was a bit thinner than that. Yeah, he's got options here. He can try and put this one into the side, although he's looking at it into the bottom left corner pocket. Yeah, another magnificent break run out here by Wojciech. It started off in that previous break and run, which was a very, very challenging layout. So was this. And he came through with the answers. Now closes the gap to 3-5. Gets to break. And if he can hold this break, now all of a sudden we have a match back on our hands. Well, what a shame. You can see the disappointment on his face. Just when he started a little momentum. It's now his turn to break dry. And apart from that dry break and the first rack where Emil failed to pot the 8, he's not made any mistakes. Much like the previous rack, it is a layout filled with challenges. Maybe you can play position on the 3 ball right here. That's a bit limited. If you can pot the 3 into the side. The rest seem to be pretty open, even though that 6 ball is slightly hampered. It does go into the bottom left corner pocket. he can apply himself, pot this 3, send this cue ball off the side rail. This can be considered as a great chance. As you can see, it's pretty tight, the middle pockets. Needs to take care of this shot. Yeah, nicely done. Now, ideally, he would have loved for that cue ball to travel just a tad bit further. Going for the 6 ball straight away. Needs to hold still on this shot. Keep down on the shot. Might take the 7 now. Cue ball is a little bit hampered. Though I think he prefers to keep that 7 for the last ball. He might just be able to get through to the middle of the cue ball. Yeah, he can. And he's a tall lad, so no problem. He's sticking to his game plan. He wants to leave the 7 as the last ball to play position on the 8. Good plan, for sure. A little disappointed with the angle he's left himself on the 4. It just means he'll have to play a very precise positional shot, a bit more angle, and it would have been a straightforward off the side rail into the open. It's a bit thinner than was needed. There's a couple of ways he can play this. A very soft screw, and maybe try to hold the cue ball off the 12 ball. Or just drop it in and leave yourself a bit higher on the 8. That will work as well. This to open up that 3-rack gap. Let's not forget, this is the single elimination, so there will be no last chances. Whoever loses the match is eliminated. Meanwhile, Yasmin Ushan has won her match. Massive favorite, of course, in any event she enters. And the resume speaks for itself. We do have another stream table on our YouTube channel, table number 3. That is on throughout the entire day. It is a table without commentary, but you can always pop on to that channel as well. Meanwhile, back to our table. Emil Andre looking to put himself on the heel. He's only had one dry break. He would love to produce another textbook break and run and put himself in the driving seat. 2 balls down. Nice spread on the table. Now, for anyone that is still in the tournament watching this match or observing the match on one of our main area tables, I'm wondering if they've picked up on the fact that Emil is breaking the balls head on. He's not leaving himself any sort of an angle, and it seems to be working perfectly for him so far. Obviously, it always looks a bit easier until you get on the table yourself, but it's something to keep noting. And straight away, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but when I look at the layout, I struggle to find where this could possibly go wrong. With the man at the table, he's been very, very solid. Needs to cross the halfway mark of the table if you would divide it from the length. So a bit of power required. Yeah, perfectly played. As you can see, played the cue ball in an area where he leave himself 3 possible options. Likely take the 2 ball here, because that's the most occupied ball left for him. And he can check the cue ball off the side, or go around the 13 and the 10 and leave himself high on the 7. Yeah, I said it quite early in the rack. It is very hard to see how it can go wrong with this player at the table. He's just been that good. And now just 3 pots away to put himself on the hill. And for Wojciech, a lot to think about. Don't know whether that 8 ball passes the 12 into the side. If it does, this is a straightforward stop shot. If not, I think he's got just enough angle to power stun this cue ball for the 8 into the top right corner pocket. Yeah, it goes in the middle. Oh, he'll definitely not miss this one. So it's 7-3. And Wojciech needs a little bit of magic in this Miracle Resort Hotel if he wants to turn this around. Successful break there by Wojciech. Trying to work out the pattern play here. Just looking at this 15 ball, so he's got his sights on the stripes. It'll be interesting to see which one of the two balls he would like to keep for the last play position on the 8. I think if he can leave himself straight on the 11. Yeah, nicely played. You can just stun this in. Have a putt at the 12 into the side. Yeah, he's come around to have a look at the putting angle. And the position on the 8 should be straightforward. Yeah, just half a ball backwards. Perfectly played. I mean, this is all he can do on his turn. Just make sure whenever you get to the table, you capitalize and, well, hope for the best. You never know. You might get another chance. Done what he had to do. Nice break and run. Just a small reminder for you guys watching. After this match, we'll have a short break. Our next scheduled matches are on 14:30 local time of Turkiye. One way to make sure you will not miss any portion of the action is by subscribing, but more importantly, turn on the notification button and you will be notified as soon as we go live. That being said, I'm just wondering if there is a bit more life left in this match. It all depends of this break, you would think. That break has really been a weapon by Emil. At the moment, it's not looking too bright for Wojciech. Still needs to take care of these remaining balls, of course, Emil. He's looking at solids. I can't really tell whether he's attacking. No, he's going for the stripe. Still a lot of pool to be played, but based on the complexion of this match and from what I saw from him yesterday against Sanjin in the team match, I really feel he's a strong contender for the title. And let's not forget, Emil Gangflot has won multiple medals in the 8-ball division throughout his career coming up the ranks, so it is a discipline that he is very comfortable with. And oddly enough, if you'd ask, you know, the people that are unfamiliar with pool billiards, the people that highly likely would not be watching the stream right now, if you'd ask him if they know pool billiards, most of them, they only know the 8-ball game. And oddly enough, it's the discipline that's, well, if you consider all the tournaments throughout the year, it's the least played discipline compared to 9-ball, of course. But this young man from Norway seems like a bit of a specialist. Someone to look out for sure. Slightly lost his cue ball, left himself a bit more angle on the 15. It would have liked to be a bit straighter on the 15 ball here. Now, is he considering to take the 10 out first? The only problem with that is, can he avoid the 3 ball, or is he actually going to use the 3 to stop the cue ball? Can he get to the putting angle on the 15 into the side? If not, he's not got a straightforward putt on. I mean, he can try and putt one of these 2 stripes into corner pocket, but that 4 ball is blocking it. I would not consider this a high percentage shot. Well, he's digging down on the cue ball, so he's playing it with an element of safety. Yeah, that was a tough shot. Look, it's not easy, but it's more than he could have hoped for in terms of what Jack his point of view. He's back at the table. Yeah, it's called the 1 into the side, I believe. Oh, a 3 ball. Has he called a 3 ball? Obviously, where the 3 ball is sitting, you can see a bigger portion of the middle pocket. No, it is the 1 ball. Yeah, a lot of pressure on this. No, he's called it into the corner. I misread his hand gestures. And what a lovely shot he's produced there, by the way. Under huge pressure. That was truly spectacular. Now, let's just presume Wojciech will take out these 3 remaining balls. And let's hope he can produce a break and run after this. Well, who knows? All of a sudden, we're looking at a scoreline 7-6. Pressure can do funny things to a player. Talking about pressure, I think there is a bit of pressure on this 8-ball as well. Yeah, safely in, nicely done. We did say at the start of the rack, all he can do is hope that he'll get a visit at the table. Made the most out of it. Now desperately looking to hold his serve and ask the question to his opponent. You can see the grimace on his face. Multiple balls threatened the pockets, but unfortunately he's failed to put a ball on his break. And now once again he needs to sit down and hope for a chance. He can take the 2 if he wants right here and play a... Oh, he's taking the 6, so he'll play a... likely a positional shot on the 7 into the left side pocket. Yeah, he's left himself perfect on the 7. And after this 7 he can take away the 2 ball. And then he's got the 4 and the 3 waiting for him. Yeah, right now I have to say, unless the wheels fall off, I don't think Wojciech was going to get another shot at the table. It is exactly in moments like this where having solid fundamentals really work in your favor. If you don't have that bounciness on the shot, you push the cue through to a straight line. It really helps under pressure. He's looking to pot the 4. 3 to the side, and the position on the 8 should be a formality. Yeah, there we go. This looks all over to me. And, you know, of course, we've been following this match ever since the beginning. I would tend to say that this is overall a fair scoreline of the two players. I feel Emil has played the better stuff, even though Wojciech really put up a great fight, produced many good runouts, but it is the man from Norway who continues to the last 32. Many congratulations to the young man from Norway. As for now, that concludes this match for us. Like I said, keep an eye out on our stream, and we will be back 14:30 local time, so that is roughly 2 hours and 50 minutes from now, live with the resume of the action of day 7 here at the Predator European Pool Championships. Bye for now.